Okay, YouTube. So in the last video, we did SQL injection attack with SQL map on the vulnerable server over here, which is artificial intelligence web from Vulnerable Hub. Now in this video, we're gonna do the lateral move from SQL injection into shell access or system access. So basically, if you got a SQL a site or website or server that's vulnerable to SQL injection, so in a way or another, you can convert that into a limited shell access or hopefully root access. But now let's do the trick of converting. Actually, it's not trick, but I mean, many people ask how to jump from SQL injection or do the lateral move from SQL injection into system access. So it's very easy, guys. Just to understand some concepts. So basically, we got the over here we got the usernames and the respective, sorry, and the respective not hashes, actually base64 passwords. Now, after that, after we made sure that the site is vulnerable to SQL injection, we're going to try to summon limited shell. So we can do that with the option OS shell with SQL map. Okay, so whenever you hit enter, it's going to ask for the language of the web application, and that's very important. You should know the language used for the web application or that web application is operating on. So basically, guys, most of the time it's PHP, but you need to make sure. So over here, there's a file on the server, or when you do directory buster and you brute force the directory of the server, you will find a directory on this path. Okay, and this path reveals the PHP configuration, which means that the web server is running on PHP. Okay, so you can get to this step using directory buster, okay, or brute force directory. So let's go back and provide that to SQL map and help it a little bit. So for, okay, do you want SQL map to further try to provoke the full path disclosure? Okay, so should we type yes or no? And that's basically depends on the operation of SQL map. So SQL map, in order for SQL map to have you access the vulnerable machine with limited shell, it needs a path to upload its own payload. Okay, that's why it's asking you the full path disclosure. Okay, so you need to provide SQL map with a writable directory on the server that it can upload the file to or the payload to. So I'm gonna say, let's try to provoke that. Maybe SQL map can find a writable directory and upload without asking you. So let's say yes. Okay, so it says unable to automatically retrieve the web server document root. Okay, so which means in this case, if you're testing a machine, it means that this SQL map cannot find a directory for the payload upload. Okay, so you need to provide that yourself. So based on your enumeration on the targets, okay, you're going to define which option to select. Okay, so because we know the PHP configuration, we can say that we can use the option 2, custom location. Why? Because if I have the PHP configuration over here, it means that I have the full path of all of the PHP configurations, including the paths that could be writable and could have a PHP, sorry, not PHP, a payload uploaded to it. So basically, the first thing you should try is the document root. So let's search for this document root. Okay, so document root, guys, is basically the, I mean, it's the directory of the web server that defines, it could be writable actually. So this directory over here could be writable, but we are not sure about that. So that's why, based on the enumeration previously, we got a file a path, sorry. So the path over here is secret uploads. Okay, so you're gonna find this path again when you do enumeration with brute force. Sorry guys, I'm kind of talking slowly, but you know, it's the last of the end of the day and I'm kind of tired. So guys, this directory is revealed, not this actually. Let me remove that. So if we go to this path, okay, over here, it says forbidden. Okay, so it means that we don't have read access to this file or to this directory. But maybe we have write access to it. Okay, so let's provide that to the document root. Let's copy that. And the document root actually is, or let's select first custom location. Now it's going to ask for the path. I'm going to provide the document root and what's happening? Oh, okay, let me end that. I didn't like it. So for yes, custom location is 2. Okay, let's copy that. And let's put slash over here and copy the directory of the uploads. Okay, so now SQL map will try to upload PHP shell to this path over here. Let's hit enter. As you can see over here, SQL map has uploaded a file under the name. This is the file actually. Look. Okay. Now this file actually is the file that has been uploaded to the this directory over here, and that's why we get limited shell back. As you can see, OS shell. If I type ID, it's gonna say type yes, and as you can see, your command has been executed. Type OMI, say yes. Let's see the password file. Okay, but let's see like this, and you can see the password file over here. As you can see, the password file, okay, could be writable. Oh, sorry, it is writable, as you can see, okay, and with the user www data. So this user over here, which we are using right now under the limited shell, can write to this file, which is our actually the first step in doing privilege escalation in the next video. We're going to depend on this misconfiguration in order to do the privilege escalation. I mean, it's very ridiculous actually to have a password file with with write access to an unprivileged user. Don't do that. So let's go back. Now actually OS shell is kind of unstable, okay? So it means that we need to actually, in your testing, actually look, in your testing, it's enough to do that, okay? OS shell, so you provided to the client that you exploited the vulnerabilities in their web server, okay? So it's enough till here, but if you want to get a stable shell back to your machine, we can go to our friends in oh, advanced. What's that? Okay, pen test monkey. Yeah, I think I'm using the proxy. From the last video, we used the perp suite. So I forgot the proxy in the configuration of Firefox. So let's remove that. Go ahead and remove this. General network proxy, and no proxy over here. Now let's try to go. Bingo, Pinterest monkey. So you go to shells, click on reverse shell cheat sheet, pick up whatever you want, whichever you want. Okay, so I'm gonna pick Python. And let me go back, provide that here, and don't forget to change your IP. So my testing machine or attacking machine IP, and the port. Let's make sure we have cut listener set up. Okay, it's set. Let's enter. Click yes. So here we should receive a shell back. Okay, so now we got limited shell by exploiting SQL injection. Okay, guys, I know it's kind of a very easy challenge it's based on the configuration over here and the kind of the level of difficulty over here. I mean, it's just you type something on where is that? Okay, if we go over here, so you type one. Come on, you're gonna find this in real world. Okay, actually you need to understand the concepts, guys. Okay, so we used pursuit to grab the request because we didn't have the vulnerable ID shown in the URL over here. So we use that. So you understand that in order to use SQL map with SQL injection to provide the vulnerable parameter, which could be visible in the URL or not. So if it's not visible, you're going to use actually that's a summary. So you're going to use the request that has been sent by a pursuit and feed that request to SQL map. And then SQL will understand where is the vulnerable parameter and will act on that. Okay. After SQL has identified the vulnerability, now you're going to think of the lateral move, guys, which is moving from exploitation or vulnerable web app, okay, into OS shell. And that's actually built in with SQL map. Whenever you have a site that's vulnerable to SQL injection, you can do or escalate your privilege from SQL injection to OS shell. But again, in order to do that, you should help SQL map to find a writable directory for the payload. Okay, don't just type OS shell and yes, it's gonna find me the shell and upload that. When you couldn't do that, you're gonna say SQL map doesn't work. Actually, it works, but you need to understand how it operates. Okay, so for the concept, that's how you do it. Okay, but if you want to focus on the vulnerable machine, it's very easy. You're not gonna find this in the real world. Okay, just understand the concept that we are implementing. Okay, in order to solve the challenge or in order to show you how to do the test in the real world, regardless of doubts. Okay. Regardless of that, these are machines vulnerable by purpose to help you understand how to do pen testing. Okay. All right, guys. So in the next video, we're gonna do the privilege escalation. We're gonna write or create a new user to the password file, which is misconfigured by having write access to an unprivileged user. Okay, guys. So see you guys.